In the cold winter of December 2017, Toronto, Canada was rocked by a shocking and mysterious crime. Barry and Honey Sherman, one of Canada's wealthiest and most influential couples, were found dead in their luxurious North York mansion. What initially appeared to be a tragic case of murder-suicide soon evolved into one of the most perplexing and high-profile murder investigations in Canadian history. Despite their immense wealth and influence, Barry and Honey's deaths were marked by an eerie silence. No forced entry, no immediate signs of struggle, and no clear suspects. Who would want them dead? And why? This is the chilling story of power, betrayal, and a mystery that remains unsolved. Bernard Charles Sherman, also known as Barry Sherman, was no ordinary businessman. Born in 1942 in Toronto, Canada, he was a brilliant mind from a young age. Losing his father at just 10 years old, Barry developed an early sense of resilience and responsibility. He channeled his intellect into academics, excelling in math and science. After earning a degree in engineering from the University of Toronto, Barry went on to pursue a PhD in astrophysics. However, his career took a different turn when he acquired Empire Laboratories from his uncle, Louis Winter, in the early 1960s. Empire Laboratories was a modest pharmaceutical company, but under Barry's sharp leadership it evolved into Apotex, a pharmaceutical giant that revolutionized the industry. He had an ambitious vision to provide affordable, high-quality generic drugs to the masses, challenging the dominance of brand-name pharmaceuticals. Through relentless innovation and legal battles against major pharmaceutical companies, Apotex expanded its reach across the globe. Honey Sherman was the heart of the family. Born in 1945, she was known for her warmth, generosity, and unwavering support of Barry. She met Barry through mutual connections, and their romance blossomed quickly. They married in 1971, forming not just a partnership in love but in ambition. While Barry focused on his empire, Honey played a crucial role in their public and social lives. Honey was a powerhouse in philanthropy. She dedicated herself to numerous charities, particularly in the fields of healthcare, education, and Jewish community causes. Her influence in high society circles made her one of the most admired philanthropists in Canada. The Shermans were known for their extravagant parties, fundraising events, and their unwavering commitment to giving back. Together, Barry and Honey formed an empire, not just in wealth, but in influence, philanthropy, and social status. They had 4 children, whom they raised with privilege yet instilled with strong values of education and hard work. The Shermans seemed to have it all: a vast fortune, an empire that shaped the pharmaceutical industry, and a reputation of generosity. But behind the glitz and glamour, tensions lurked in both business and personal realms, setting the stage for a chilling mystery that remains unsolved. December 15th, 2017. It was a quiet morning in the exclusive neighborhood of North York, Toronto. A thick blanket of snow covered the Sherman mansion's massive driveway as the real estate agent arrived. The estate, a sprawling 12,000-square-foot property, had been listed for sale, and potential buyers were scheduled to visit later that week. But instead of preparing the home for a sale, the agent stumbled upon a gruesome and deeply unsettling scene. Stepping inside, they immediately felt something was off. The house was eerily quiet. The Shermans, known for their lively social gatherings and energetic conversations, were nowhere to be seen. As the agent moved through the corridors, a sense of dread crept in. Then, they reached the indoor pool area. Barry and Honey's bodies were positioned in a staged and disturbing manner. They were found semi-seated near their indoor pool, fully clothed, with leather belts looped around their necks and tied to a railing. Their bodies were eerily still, their eyes vacant. It was a chilling sight, one that looked more like a grotesque tableau than the scene of a struggle. Shock turned to horror as the agent dialed 911, struggling to process what they had just seen. The responding officers arrived quickly, their faces hardening as they stepped into the opulent mansion. Crime scene investigators meticulously examined the surroundings, noting the eerie details. There were no immediate signs of forced entry, no broken glass, no doors ajar. Nothing seemed out of place, except for the lifeless bodies of 2 of Canada's most powerful figures. At first glance, the Toronto police considered the possibility of a murder-suicide.
That evening, the police said there was no sign of forced entry and they weren't looking for any suspects, which led a lot of people to believe that it sounded like this could have been a murder-suicide. And the next day, a number of newspapers in Toronto were reporting, in fact, that the police were working on that theory,
speculating that Barry may have killed Honey before taking his own life. But for those who knew the couple, this theory was absurd. Barry was a shrewd businessman, deeply logical and methodical. He had plans, ongoing projects, and a mind constantly at work. Honey, known for her sharp wit and strong-willed personality, would never have gone down without a fight. Family members immediately rejected the idea, demanding a deeper investigation. Their children, stunned and grief-stricken, pushed back against the murder-suicide theory, insisting that their parents had no reason to die this way. The couple had been looking forward to family gatherings, business expansions, and philanthropic events. And then there were the injuries. Honey Sherman bore bruises on her face, clear signs of a struggle. Barry, however, showed no such signs, suggesting he may have been subdued first, perhaps ambushed or restrained before he even had a chance to fight back. This was not a crime of passion. It was calculated, methodical, and carried out with chilling precision. The more investigators examined the scene, the less it made sense. Their bodies had been positioned as if staged, their necks encircled by belts tied to the pool railing, but their cause of death was determined to be ligature neck compression. The belts weren't used to hang them. They had been strangled. More unsettling details emerged. The home security cameras had been turned off. The alarm system, which should have been activated, was left disarmed. No valuables were missing, ruling out robbery as a motive. Someone had entered the mansion, carried out the crime with meticulous care, and left without leaving a trace. As forensic teams combed through the house, they found no forced entry, no signs of struggle beyond the injuries on Honey's body. It was as if their killers had been let in, by someone they knew and trusted. The crime scene was so unsettling that even seasoned homicide detectives were shaken. One investigator later described it as one of the most bizarre and perplexing cases they had ever worked on. This was no ordinary crime. This was a message, a chilling, calculated execution that left more questions than answers. With a high-profile case like this, the world watched as Toronto police conducted their investigation. Despite Barry and Honey's vast fortune, their deaths did not lead to immediate answers. Friends, business associates, and family members were interviewed, yet no suspect emerged. Surveillance footage showed a shadowy figure near the Shermans' home on the night of the murders. Yet no one could identify the person.
From a camera on a home on Bannatyne Drive. Now that's relevant because it's about a kilometer from where the Shermans' home was located, and police believe that the man in this video, the person in this video I should say, is considered a suspect.
Even more chilling was the fact that the couple's security cameras had been turned off. Was it an inside job? Had someone with intimate knowledge of their habits executed this crime? As weeks turned into months, speculation ran rampant. Some believed it was a professional hit, perhaps orchestrated by competitors in the pharmaceutical industry, given Barry's history of legal battles. Others pointed to family disputes over inheritance. Could there have been a motive within their inner circle? The business world reacted with unease. Apotex, despite its strong market standing, saw ripples of uncertainty. Employees feared the company's future without its powerful leader, and competitors eyed the empire's potential vulnerabilities. The Sherman family's philanthropic projects came to an abrupt halt, as their fortune was now tied up in legal battles and the ongoing murder investigation. As investigators searched for motives, several theories emerged. A business rival? Barry Sherman had a long list of enemies in the pharmaceutical industry. He was known for his aggressive business tactics and legal battles against brand-name drug companies. Could one of his corporate enemies have orchestrated the murder? A family dispute? Despite their wealth, there had been tensions within the Sherman family. Legal disputes over inheritance and control of Barry's fortune had arisen in the past. Was there someone within the family who stood to gain from their deaths? A professional hit? The calculated nature of the crime led many to believe this was not a random act of violence but a professional hit. The lack of forced entry, the staged bodies, and the execution-style killings suggested a well-planned assassination. Religious and political factors. Honey Sherman's sister, Mary Shechtman, suggested that the murders could have been politically or religiously motivated. She stated that the Shermans were strong supporters of Israel and that Honey was very vocal about her Jewish identity. She also noted that Honey had attended a lecture about cutting off financial support to Muslim fundamentalists just 6 months before the murders. Shechtman claimed that Honey strongly believed that stopping such funding could help bankrupt extremist groups and prevent terrorism. She further alleged that Barry may have been involved in providing financial support for this cause, potentially making them targets. Despite these theories, concrete evidence remained elusive. Frustrated with the slow police response, the Sherman family hired private investigators to conduct their own probe. The findings were starkly different from the initial police report. Private investigators confirmed that the couple had been murdered, likely by multiple assailants. The family also offered a $10 million reward for information leading to an arrest, which was later increased to $35 million by Sherman's son, but no one has come forward with definitive answers. Despite the enticing reward, silence loomed over the case. Meanwhile, the Toronto police continued their investigation, but progress was painstakingly slow. Detectives combed through thousands of pages of documents, re-examined video footage, and interviewed over 250 witnesses, but the evidence led to dead ends. Theories swirled. Was it a professional hit? A calculated betrayal from someone close? Each new lead seemed to raise more questions than answers. As time passed, frustration grew among the public and the Sherman family. Speculation ran rampant, but concrete evidence remained elusive. Without clear suspects or a breakthrough, the case remained an open wound, leaving lingering doubts and unanswered questions. In June 2019, sources close to the Shermans revealed that Barry had planned to either give much of his fortune to charity or reinvest it. However, the estate's details became a point of contention. Trustees for the Sherman family fought to keep the records sealed, arguing that the case was still under investigation. In Canada, court proceedings, including those concerning estates, are generally public. Initially, an Ontario Superior Court judge applied a protective order to keep the files secret. However, the Toronto Star appealed, leading to a lengthy legal battle. In June 2021, the Supreme Court ultimately ruled in favor of unsealing the documents, revealing further complexities within the estate that some investigators believed could be tied to the murder. Further, Barry was facing serious financial challenges in his final years. According to court documents released in January 2022, Barry owed nearly $1 billion to other companies leading up to his death. He had reportedly refused to pay this debt, further complicating matters within his business empire. Just 2 weeks before the murders, Barry had asked his son, Jonathan Sherman, to repay him tens of millions of dollars he had borrowed for his storage business. Jonathan later explained that this was to help his father through a difficult financial situation, and Barry had assured him of future funding once his finances improved. The two had maintained a close relationship both professionally and personally. In 2020, Sherman's daughter, Alex Krawczyk, established the Honey and Barry Sherman Legacy Foundation to honor her parents' memory and further their unfinished philanthropic aims. Alex Krawczyk is a registered nurse and philanthropist who leads 2 charitable foundations, the Krawczyk Family Foundation and the Honey and Barry Sherman Legacy Foundation. In 2023, Crave announced the production and broadcast of Billionaire Murders, a documentary television series exploring the case. In 2023, Jonathan Sherman, the only son of the Sherman couple, announced he was donating $52 million to the Toronto Jewish community so it can build the Honey and Barry Memorial Arena on the grounds of an existing Jewish community campus in Vaughan, Ontario. It will consist of 2 NHL-sized hockey rinks and supporting facilities. To this day, the investigation remains open, and the Sherman family continues to push for answers. Until then, this case remains a haunting reminder of how wealth and power can sometimes bring not just fortune, but danger.